What's up, guys? I hope you're having a happy Sunday today. Happy September 29th. I'm excited to be here with you. We've been doing all kinds of cool fall things here in our first splenic week. We started decorating for Halloween and we've cleaned the house. We had some um, ham and beans with spicy tomatoes. Like, I never did this, and my stepdad brought this in, and it's absolutely wonderful. I'm obsessed with spicy food. And you just put it right in. We had cornbread, so all of the perfect ham and bean things. And it's feeling good. It's feeling like fall. In this primal, here in the spleen, this is like our primal fear center. And so we can really feel some of those fears come up over the next weeks. And this fear that we're in, that we've been in for 4 days now, it is all about the fear of authority. So challenging the authority figure, the guy who's in charge, whether that's parent, spouse, friend, the person in your hobby, the person in your network marketing team at work. It can be any type of authority figure. And this is a deep fear to challenge authority. Like, we really can't understand what it takes and what happens to get us to begin challenging the authority, like this unconscious awareness that can begin to rise from the 58 and show us what's wrong. And then we have to go through this whole circuit in order to gain the logical details to share what we know. And so it's this whole collective process that nobody can do on their own, that we're all constantly moving through. And it can be so much, this challenging authority. And so we're also grounded in opinions. So challenging authority, grounded in opinions. And what we can know before we dive in is that no mind knows. I know that doesn't make any sense, but no mind knows. The observer in everybody watches the matter unfold. The matter is the one that makes all the decisions. So it's like, if you know that, if you're watching the matter make the decisions, if you're watching the life unfold, there's no authority left but the one inside of you, right? And even that one doesn't know. It just responds to life. And, choice, like, this is the only place that I think choice exists. Choice is the ability to watch the response happen. So watch what my heart does according to what is happening now. I see that, and then I can honor it or not. And to honor it or not, I have to know my heart's response well enough to understand what it's doing and what those things mean. And so it can be like this whole journey of challenging your authority, challenging authority figures on your way to becoming your own authority, so that you can stand in the present moment and watch life as a witness and not a mind who thinks it knows. Okay, so here we go. Gate 18 in the sun. This is 18.4. It's called The Incompetent, and my son has this line. So we watch this energy. I also have 58. He has the whole channel, but I have 58. And so we have some fun with this. Under the line, it says, difficulties as a result of inadequacies that cannot be resolved because of inadequacies. So a very frustrating energy here. And we are externalizing incompetence. The exaltation, this is even like a difficult exaltation when you hear it read. The inability to correct and its potential for suffering. So we see imbalance happening somewhere, and there's just nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can say. There's nothing that can be done. And that in itself feels like suffering. And like I said, because it's collective, it can take a long time for these processes to unravel. And we're going to talk about some real life examples today. The other side, indecision and anxiety and no escape from misfortune. This constant anxiety is from having that thing that you can't correct. But it's also because you are listening to the authority figures and you're believing them, maybe over what's true, right? So it's like you're hearing their judgment and it has you like in freeze and you can't move forward. Maybe you have to develop those opinions so that you can speak about what you know and why you're challenging them. Like, it can be a very blurry, hard thing to experience, I feel like, especially since this is so in the spleen, like this isn't even really close to the throat yet. So to understand this, let's try to talk about the energy that can happen here, because this is the energy of judgment, and it's going to create feelings of inferiority or superiority, right? This is why you can blindly believe someone over your own experience that's happening now. And it's like that inferior, if you're inferior on the inside, you can just blindly follow others. You're looking at them, you're like, yeah, they're right. And you're just following them come hell or high water. And the other side, if you're seeing yourself as superior, maybe you're blindly blaming. Like, this is the big judgment side. You're looking at that person, you're like, well, if they just did XYZ, they wouldn't be in that situation. Right? You're looking at them and you're comparing them to your life. And because that's never happened to you, you think it's wrong that it's happening to them. But here's the thing, you guys, judgment is a super creepy thing. Okay. I'm pretty sure that this is karma here because I've seen it. I've watched someone look at someone and refuse to attempt to understand. They just throw out that judgment. Give it a couple years and they'll be in that same exact situation. And then they'll be able to be like, okay, I understand how they could go through that, and we can literally look at that as what we've always called karma. So it's like, don't judge. Know that everybody's life is different and infinite things can happen and totally different things can happen to each different person. And as long as we know that, we can put the human being above what we think about them or what we think should be true about them, even though it's literally not. Like, it starts to get really, really weird. And so as we come out of the shadows, this is integrity and it's living and listening to understand. So we have to understand that no one speaks for no reason. They're always trying to communicate something. And if we can listen to understand, to respond instead of react, we can actually take in the information that's trying to be communicated to us instead of avoiding it for what we were told or what we've been taught in our past, what we've seen in our own experience. And we have to get into allowing difference, like letting each person be different and not seeing that as right or wrong. And so today, maybe a lot of it is about examination. Like, we're looking at ourselves, we're looking at behaviors, systems, we're looking at the way we work together, or we're looking at a situation where, like, I did everything I could and it'll correct itself when it's time. But as of right now, all I can do is surrender and let it go. You just surrender and let it go and you keep moving forward. But with today, I think that we can get the necessary depth to correct. We've got unconscious nodes in 48. I like the unconscious side too. And we could be out there sharing and externalizing this depth, going through these collective processes in a way that is much bigger than other points in time and really gaining collective understanding together. No one's really in charge of when individual mutation can become a collective thing. And we're all at the mercy of that. I think that what this is talking about and the potential for suffering, it's so much like that because you can carry around something that's right, but maybe it's not right yet. Maybe it can't be seen yet. And that's like, Justin Bieber trying to speak out about the abuse that he went through with Diddy. That couldn't be seen as right yet. That couldn't be something that could be believed over the authority figure that P. Diddy is. Like, that is a scary thing when you think about it. And I think one of the most important things to do when we are examining behavior systems, all these things, we don't just want to pluck the leaves off of a plant that we're trying to remove, right? We don't want to just pick the flower every week and continue this work forever. We want to dig it out by the root and be done with it. And we need depth to understand. We need experience. We need to be able to see and understand the pattern so that we can correct it in the first place. We need to be able to get to the bottom of it and respond to the patterns and work together within them. And as we do this, this can relieve inadequacy. This can help you know that there isn't a superior or inferior, that we all have our own authority and we all have our unique individual roles and functions in this life. And you can start to be who you are and work directly with life itself. You don't have to be inadequate and you can show up who you are. And so this is really interesting to me with my own trip. I have a completely open spleen. But man, I think I'm really good at challenging authority. And I care so much about myself and others. It's like I hate seeing people blame the state of things on themselves. Like, oh, I've had 10 jobs in the last 2 years because I just can't hold one down and none of them pay me enough and, all these things. And it's like, wow, like they blame that on themselves. They're like, if I would have just done this better or taken high school more or went to this or like, it's not about you, it's not your fault. It's like, that's why I come in and I try to explain another option to put that blame. I'm like, these global cycles, we're going through this shift, we're coming into emotional awareness. Like, all of these things are happening that we don't understand. And I just try to help them get out of their mind. Because if they can stop blaming themselves, they can stop blaming husband, they can see a little bit more clearly, then they can really respond to their life and be helped by life instead of being blocked from doing that because they're being made so crazy by humans. These humans are making them think they're wrong, and then they lose their ability to respond to the life that can actually like help them and give them what they need in their movie. And so it's also too so much about authority figures. You know, there's so many authority figures in human design, for example, who see financial success as the same thing as alignment. And this is this inferior, superior crap. And they're not experimenting or learning from life. They're just thinking that they know about it, and they don't actually have the depth. And maybe with what I'm saying in these collective processes, they'll be able to get it soon. You know, it's like ignorance and abuse run rampant in our collective systems. We have to understand that what we're seeing right now is fundamentalism, which is attempting to make humans into little bitty word formulas that they are never going to be able to fit into. Like, truly, all science and religion are attempting to explain the same things in different languages. That's depth. Like, you don't have to go looking at them like they're different and something to war about. We can look at all the science as if each of us are attempting to understand life together, because that's actually the truth. You know, this Babylon stuff where we make it seem like you need to be an expert of a system or speak just like this or say, like, this is all of this inferior, superior stuff that I think we are coming out of collectively. And so here's the last question, and we'll move on to 17. How can we create balance and healthy systems without understanding ourselves and each other? We literally can't. And we can see that the society that we've created is hurting our immune systems. It's creating trauma. Like, that word is like a buzzword today. Like, everybody is talking about trauma. And it's like, yeah, we got to change these systems so that we stop traumatizing ourselves. And what exactly does that mean? That we're arriving at the place and time where we can ask that question. You know, it's like we're sticking with all of this outdated stuff because we haven't been able to challenge the authority figures in big enough ways, in ways that are put together enough, having the right details, having the right forms of paper, showing them the right evidence. You know, like, we're all working together to gather the information and resources that we need so that we can challenge these authority figures and move on to healthier systems for humans. And so I truly think that this is an exciting time for people who have been silenced and misunderstood, regardless of what industry that is in. And so we are grounded in 17.4. This is the personnel manager, and it's the energy of opinions. The exaltation, opinions based in understanding others, and the detriment, attracting others with distorted opinions. The thing that I have to say right now is that we all have to let actions speak louder than words, because there is no longer anything left to believe. I don't care what you think you know about what you think you know it about. Like, there's nothing left to believe. And we can't rule until we understand. You know, like, true leadership, true ruling is serving the interests of people beyond one's own interest. And you can't do that and serve opinions at the same time. To serve people, it requires you to constantly set down opinions as times change and gain new understanding about the time that you're living in and the people that you're living with. To serve an opinion means that you can hold on to it forever and pass it down for 4 generations without ever having changed it, even though everything that's happening out there says that that's a false opinion. You know, it's like absolutely insane what we're seeing today, the level of insanity. That's what it is, like, insanity. And so we have to be able to let go of old opinions, pick up new ones, rewrite logical formulas in real time based on new information and new experiences. It's like everybody that's out there right now, so much of the leadership is ruling to serve self, to serve that opinion. And it looks like the personnel manager. You know, it's like, oh, well, this is the pattern. I know how it works. I know exactly where you fit in. This is going to be so great. Like, what that really is like manipulation. And it's because they're afraid. No one can look at you and know where you fit in without getting to know you, you know? And if they think that they can do that, they're serving an opinion and not you. Clearly, they didn't take any time for you to tell them who you are. And so it's like you're not serving the person, and it is manipulation, but it's very hard to see it. And so much of it is about having faith in the mind and what it thinks, the words that it's thinking over what's happening now. And when we're doing this and we're blindly running around with this opinion, we can attract people to our opinion, even if it's wrong. And we can see this in politics all the time. Like, so many politicians are just a bag of opinions, and they've attracted enough followers to those opinions, whether they're true or false, to gain the seat. It's like so much of it can work like this. And when we're doing this, people are always put into little cubby holes. They're never going to fit there. It's like Diddy and all these artists. It's like they all approached him, or were made to approach him, because he's the best, he's got the money, he's the one that can get you the fame that you're looking for, all of this stuff. It's like they trusted that he would empower their career and help them be successful, and they stayed around waiting for that, even through abuse. Like, he wasn't serving anybody. He ruined a lot of people's lives, and all of the powerful people worked together to help him do that. None of them were able to challenge that authority. And it's like, even though lots of people did try, it wasn't able to be made manifest until right now. So think about the frustration that can come with that process, and the people that are involved, the people that have been silenced for so long, who have been seen as crazy for so long, and they're finally getting to be seen as someone who literally went through a terrible experience and tried to explain it, but no one was willing to listen to understand. All these thoughts and opinions about powerful person will stop us from listening to the person that's right in front of us. And that is because opinions blind us from what lies under them. The gate underneath them is youthful folly, and it's logical formulas, but they're not always based in reality. And I think that this phrase goes so well right here. The path to hell is paved in good intentions. Humans will have this intention, they'll go to do the thing, and they will land in a totally different result than what their intention was. They might see that they created that experience just to sit down a belief or something, or so life could show them something new. It's like, we really don't know why we do what we do. And serving thoughts over humans is very dangerous. Like, humans are realer than any of the thoughts that have ever been thought about them. Like, if you think about it like that, any words that have been placed on them, humans are much realer than any of the words that have been placed on them. They live, they breathe, they die. They're shrouded in complete mystery for the entirety of their life. Nobody knows what they're going to be, or where they're going to go, or what they're going to do. Like, there is no opinion big enough for all of them. It's like, we are at the point in time where we have to accept and allow this difference. We have to be able to choose our own individual understanding over the opinions and beliefs and ideas that are being put on us by outside forces, forces that might not see it correctly in the first place. And so last but not least, Moon is in 59, and this is the gate of intimacy. You might have seen breaking emotional barriers today, and I still think we have at least 3 hours of this energy left. Sharing and receiving vital information. This is all about breaking the emotional block, moving the information, and it's vital. It's life-bringing. This energy has the ability to create new life with the emotional wave. And so moving this information, getting together, saying the thing that needs to be said, being received for saying what you needed to be said. The only thing that's really going to block any of this from happening is dishonesty. If we can't be honest with ourselves, we can't be intimate with others. So you can know that, let's say that you really need to move vital information, you need to speak to this person. Their level of honesty is going to determine if you can do that or not. And that doesn't have to be about you. You can just let that be and respond to what that is, because we're not going to be able to, maybe today you could break that emotional barrier, but just because you want to doesn't mean it's a possibility. Some of these things are so genetic and we really don't understand them at all. Like, I was thinking, what does it mean to change an opinion? What does it mean to break an emotional barrier? Like, are we literally forming new cognitive trails? Like, these things are so physical, and we can't just speak them into existence. It's so much about each person in alignment with life, seeing it as they are, and allowing that to change them throughout the thing so that they can unfold too. And so, yes, I hope you guys have a great day today. We are surrendering to collective change. We are having open minds, hopefully, and getting honest with ourselves and others, hopefully. And seriously, like the more open, the more honest you are over time, the funner it is. Because if you're not doing those things, you can't have intimacy in life. And intimacy is literally one of my very favorite things. Like, no human should live without connection. And so let it be, let yourself be wrong, let yourself fail, let anything be okay, and dive into that confrontation and truth, because it's the only solution now. It is the only solution that any of us have left. Trust life and love yourself today. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll be back on Tuesday. Bye, guys.